Hello, my name is Larry Podolsky. I am your instructor, and this is the first of a series of short videos that we're going to go over to help you with how we write the description of what we see on an ECG strip. This is just an introduction. The reason it's important is because there is a format that cardiologists use when they view an ECG strip and then they want to communicate that to their coworkers, patients, other physicians, whatever. There's a format that they write their description in, and that's what we're going to start studying today, and we'll go over it throughout this course. The reason it's important is because you will find that many of your questions in quizzes, midterm, final, or we're going to show you an ECG strip and we're going to ask for your interpretation. In order to get full credit for your answer, you're going to need to look at three things. One, what is a dominant pacemaker? Two, what is the heart rate? And three, do you see any other abnormalities on that strip, like another type of dysrhythmia? So that in general is what we're going to be looking at multiple times. So today I would just like to review a little bit on what we mean by pacemakers. There are two groups. The first group, the larger, the natural pacemakers. These are the pacemaker areas in the heart that are supposed to be there. And then the smaller group is the artificial pacemakers that we insert surgically to take over the duties of the natural pacemakers. So looking at the natural pacemakers, the normal dominant pacemaker in a normal heart is the SA node. And when the SA node is dominant, in fact, you have a sinus rhythm. The abnormal pacemakers are supposed to be there for the most part, but they produce usually dysrhythmias. For example, you can have a dominant pacemaker in the atrial area, and if it's an atrial pacemaker, you have an atrial rhythm. The AV node, or junctional node, is a normal backup natural pacemaker, but it does not produce normal ECGs. And when the junctional pacemaker is dominant, we call that a junctional rhythm. Ventricles also can produce pacemakers. When that happens, we call that rhythm idioventricular or just ventricular rhythm. And again, the artificial pacemakers are a smaller group, and we will go into their nomenclature when we get toward the end of the course. So, you're taking a quiz, you get a question, and that question will ask you, what is your interpretation of this ECG? In order to get full credit, you're going to first have to tell me what the dominant pacemaker is. In this case, there's P waves. They appear to be normal. They're in front of a normal QRS. So this is a SA node is a dominant pacemaker, but what you would call that would be a sinus rhythm. This is a good example of the interval method of finding or calculating the heart rate. This is an S wave. It falls on a dark vertical line. This is another S wave, the next QRS complex, falling on another dark line. So if we start here, that's 300 beats per minute, 150 beats per minute, 100 beats per minute, and this is 75 beats per minute. So using the interval way, we know the heart rate is 75. And then the last question we have to ask ourselves is, are there any other major abnormalities? In this case, there is. This is a PVC. And if you were answering this question and you wrote down sinus rhythm, heart rate of 70, with a single PVC, you would get full credit. But let's pretend for a second that this was not present in this strip. In other words, you just saw normal PQRS complexes, each beat. Then your answer would just be sinus rhythm, heart rate of 70. You don't have to put down there were no other abnormalities. So hopefully this will start you off. Don't panic. We're going to go over this many more times. And we will go ahead and make sure that you are well familiar with the format by the end of the course. Thanks.